What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Epic Handshake Podcast, the podcast about epic people that deserve an epic handshake. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, as well as other podcast streaming platforms. And don't forget the YouTube channel under the same name, the Epic Handshake Podcast. You can check us out there, and you can see our wonderful, beautiful faces, the ones that are made for radio. Because we ugly.
Especially Logan.
Especially Logan.
Dude, body's made for radio. Too.
Body's made for radio. But yeah, I have my two buddies, Isaac and Logan. And
how's it, you guys?
Happy to have you guys today.
Happy to be here.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Happy to be here. But yeah, so I think the reason why we have these two guys on is because I think these guys have a lot to say, especially in the shooting world. Logan and I have been friends for quite a while now. Mm-hmm. And then Isaac and I mean, we've only known each other for less than 5-6 months, right?
Less than that. But we just became very good friends.
Yeah.
Love at first sight.
Yeah.
Same with you, Logan.
Pretty much like holding hands on the first date. You know, they were whining and dining me and everything.
Well, you know,
that is inaccurate. Nah, that is kind of
us coastal people, we love it.
Us coastal people, us mainlanders. Yeah. So really quick to begin. So these guys' handle on Instagram is at Black Echo. That's BLVECHO. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. And then we have at Hawaiian Shooter. So that's Hawaiian.
Yeah.
SHOOTAH.
Yeah, that's
Hawaiian Shooter. And I'll put that all in the descriptions below, as well as all the descriptions on every platform. So be sure to check those guys out. They both post some really great content. But do you guys want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Isaac Woolsey grew up in Hawaii. I am Hawaiian, so I mean it doesn't kind of look like it, but I am Hawaiian. I was born in Hawaii, raised in Hawaii, moved out to Utah about like 3 years ago. And we first moved to Salt Lake, and then we moved out to Orem, long story short. But graduated from Ko'uku, 07 grad. Oh, you guys, hi. And then, what's it called? Just lived there ever since. Worked there all the way until 2017, then moved out. Mm-hmm. So me and my wife, we had 2 kids at the time before we moved. And then now we have our third, just born a couple weeks ago.
Congrats, man.
So thank you. And Alex, so we really happy now living in Utah. Just that we can financially stabilize ourselves in Utah. Whereas in Hawaii, yes, we were, but we can just say we was a lot more happy being financially independent. It's hard to do that in Hawaii, as some of you guys may know. So.
Yeah.
Finally be able to buy a loaf of bread.
No, brah.
Like
I know.
A gallon of,
no, brah.
I'm joking, but it's true.
It is true. It is true.
A gallon of milk under $8.
Brah. Yeah. So I just asked my mom again, and she was like, "Yeah, it's about $9. You go some places like Tamura's or a Long's, it's going to be like $9, maybe up." But
that's crazy, man.
Costco, you're looking at like $5 or like $7
easily.
Thanks, Facebook.
Yeah, thank you. TikTok.
No, that's enough about me, my man. Logan,
yeah.
Go ahead,
Logan.
Yeah, so Logan Bagley. I am a born and raised Southern Californian. There is a very important distinction there. Riverside County, born and raised. On the playground is where I spent most of my days.
Yeah,
you like that?
So this is where I wish I had sound effects.
I know, right? But the royalties, they just smother you anyway. But so anyway, I moved to Utah Labor Day weekend of 2015. So end of 15, early 16. Adon, I don't think you and I had quite... No, we had met.
We met at a mutual friend's
at the wedding.
But we didn't know each other.
We weren't necessarily friendly. We didn't have relations.
Not yet.
But it wasn't too much after that you and I. Anyway, so it's been about 5 years.
Give or take,
yeah. Anyway, I moved from Southern California here. I lived for a good long time in Rose Park. My wife and I bought our first home here in Taylorsville.
Mm-hmm.
Right on.
Yeah.
Good. That's my goal.
Yeah.
To get one house.
Yeah,
that is
especially
my
with
one house.
Two houses down, you can have
The
it.
brah, for real. Sorry,
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
a little loud. Brah.
That's okay. Yeah, no.
But
Yep.
yeah, that's me, man. It's me in a nutshell.
In a nutshell.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So you guys, so just to give everyone background again, so within pretty much everybody that I've interviewed in the first few episodes of this podcast, I think we're on episode 6 now. Most of these guys, we've been in the same group. We're part of the Utah Shooter Dudes. It's just a local group. And yes, I sound like a broken record describing this group, but they're a group of like-minded individuals, all walks of life, all different personalities, perspectives, backgrounds, race. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we just kind of all get together for, range days. We support each other in more than just shooting sports.
We try to help each other out too.
Yeah.
Like, what's the best way? How can you do it this way?
Helped a dude out with a move.
Yeah.
Tanner, when he went up to wherever that is.
Yeah, and then we have people that have connections to other things. Like, I know Logan hooked me up with a realtor recently. I mean, it's a good, longtime friend of his. I mean, there's been a lot of different, I guess, financial advice that we've gotten from each other. It's just a really all around good group. And I've been very lucky. I think all of us have been very fortunate to have that group because honestly, coming to Utah, I only had a couple people that I could really depend on, Logan being one of them. And even then I was in northern Utah, and
you were.
had to drive super far, and so to get to anywhere. So I mean, it's one of those things. But yeah, these guys are part of that same group. But I guess to kind of jump in, what are some of your background, like so I guess what combines us or what brings us together is shooting.
Yeah.
When did you guys start with that?
Well, I was working when I came to Utah. I started out at this place called NPS in Salt Lake, and they're a good company to work for. Solid hours, and so I didn't really get into the shooting part until I moved to Orem, which is they opened up a store in Orem, and so then I helped open that up. Long story short, I moved there, and then I took it upon myself. At the time, the ammo, the tactical, all of the parts, all of that for NPS was all spread out, and so like there was no organization. Nothing was kind of made pretty. And it's when I was there and still trying to make it up, it still wasn't pretty, but it was definitely better than what it was, And so I learned the small calibers like 380, 9mm, going all the way up. Did my research. Same thing with shotgun. So like 12 shot, 10 shot, or not 12 shot, but like 12 gauge, 10 gauge, all of that kind, and going up and down, 410 being the highest or the smallest. Yeah. But then I learned all of that, and then slowly everyone started signing up for like, hey, how can I get the ammo? And so I was like, okay, write them down and I'll send you the text. And I got in contact with Leaf, was the first one. And then all these other guys like Alex, Kenny, all these good people, which is on the Utah shooter.
And you probably saw Leaf in episode 3, so go and check out that episode as well.
But Leaf was one of the guys that I first met, and I didn't really get out to really know him, just through merchandise from me being behind the counter. But it was me shooting, him recognizing me, and then I kind of giving him like, hey, you can save money by going this route and getting this one, or if it's too expensive, I can help change that because it's not the right price. So blah 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 blah. Yeah. Long story short, that's how it kind of pulled in, and then I met with all you guys, and that was awesome. Like, I'm very fortunate.
A whole new world for you.
Yeah, and so learning, coming to everyone, and just kind of meeting everyone and learning from, I'm not the only one that shoots. There's a ton of people. Why not learn from what they have to learn, or what they have, their knowledge? Right. Because everyone has something to give, and that's where if there's something that I can learn from, I'll go and get it. That's me personally. I like to strive really hard to be the best in shooting. Yeah. So I'll do whatever I can. I dry fire as much as I possibly can.
Yeah, you do.
So.
More than probably most of us.
Yeah. I mean, I really like.
If anybody puts in the work, it's Isaac, man.
I really, that's my passion. So that's how we kind of came together. So long story short.
Yeah, and since you came from Hawaii too, just a really quick follow up question. I mean, guns are pretty much outlawed there.
That's
right?
that's the thing, bro.
Yeah.
My brother, when I was shooting in guns in Hawaii, it was like nothing to me. I had no interest, you know.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, I just did my homework, and now I'm really liking it. But back in Hawaii, man, like I was shooting my brother's AK, primary arms. That was the first AK that he got. I shot his M4. I shot his Glock, his 1911 and 22 caliber. I mean, there was some good stuff that I shot with him back home in Hawaii. But in order for him, and that was the process. That was the hard process. In order for him to have a gun, he had to register every single gun, and that was like. And thinking about it now, I'm like, why?
And there's
How come?
waiting periods too there.
And we're like, why? Like that makes no sense. And on top of that, there was hardly any shops to go and buy ammo.
Right.
Yeah.
So
It's probably expensive
it was
too.
very expensive because you gotta ship them from mainland to Hawaii.
Right.
So in Hawaii, it's not that great to have. I do know some really good people who I've talked to. One lives in Kauai, and one I think he lives in Oahu right now. And they're good people. They shoot night vision. They're really high into it. So they're very. I can tell you all about them after this.
Yeah. Either way.
But they're very good in what they do. They probably did go to they probably did serve in the military at one point, and that's why they probably have all of that experience.
Yeah.
So I mean, like there are some, but there's not a lot in Hawaii.
Right.
So it's very different
Because the culture is completely different too. You know.
Polynesians, you don't see a lot of Polynesians shoot now, except for like Keanu Reeves on.
Oh,
John Wick.
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
John Wick.
But then you come to Utah and you see like all these guys come, like these families coming.
There are
to
Facebook groups.
Yeah, Facebook groups.
Oh,
like
Polys.
what is it? The 2A, the TU.
Yeah.
2A.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I love that group so much. It's just so funny because like when they get into it, they get into it.
Yeah, like
It's-
hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They really mean a lot into it when they actually get into it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Put a lot.
And they
of
see the importance of it too. That's cool, man. That's
Yeah.
what it's all about. Logan, where did you start? I know your background.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in Southern California. There, it's not quite as bad as Hawaii. You know, we have the 10-day wait period, right?
Yeah.
When you purchase a gun, your background takes 10 days.
Yep.
You know, yeah. Yeah. Even though those systems take like 2 minutes or whatever, like less.
Yeah, sure.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, the I think they call it the cool down period. Anyway, so yeah. Anyway, I grew up in doing Boy Scouts. So kind of my real first exposure was Boy Scouts, the Rifleman's Merit Badge. You had to do 5-shot groups in a quarter size hole kind of thing or group, and blah blah blah. Shotgun shooting was a merit badge. I took it. I failed it because I'm
Black powder too.
Yeah,
black powder.
I remember that
Yep,
one.
black
I remember
powder
that
as
one.
well.
I was
So
scared,
yeah.
to shoot the
Oh,
black powder.
dude, because you're like loading that.
Yeah.
That thing's huge.
And when they shot it, I was like,
Well, right, because
I'm not
there's
gonna do
like
that.
there's the click, spark, and then it, boom, and then
Yeah.
it goes. And
Yeah.
Anyway, good times. Cut my teeth
Oh.
on that. I love it. But yeah, I mean, my dad had his 30-06 that he bought when he was a teenager. Both my parents are from rural Idaho. My dad being from Rexburg, my mom being from St. Mary's. It's in the Coeur d'Alene, Spokane area. So they're both farm kids, and so for them, guns were kind of a protect the flock, livestock.
Oh, yeah. Very
bring
ingrained
meat
in the
in,
culture.
kind of stuff like that. So anyway, I mean, I shot his 30-06 a couple of times, but being a little kid, dude, and that thing without a break, I just remember it like rocking my world every time you pull the trigger. Like, what's my name?
What's my name?
It just was like, oh, my brain hurts after that, But yeah, anyway, so then, fast forward, I came back from serving down in Brazil, a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Shout out to you guys.
Hashtag not a sponsor.
Hashtag they would never endorse this. But yeah, down there, firearms are completely illegal. And I was, really kind of at that time, you kind of almost adopt the culture and the mindset and whatever. And so when I came home, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm 21. I can buy a gun, And so I bought my first one, which was an FNH FNX 9.
Yep.
I didn't really do much with it though. Like I didn't know anybody because at the time I was living in Texas. And I didn't really know anybody to go shoot with. And so I didn't really have the training or whatever. Fast forward, I moved back to California. And, I had my childhood best friend there. And he was like, yeah, dude, whatever. And we'd go out and shoot the regular, somebody brings a folding table and put all the guns out and that fuddy thing. So... you do that for a little bit, but then I'm just like, dude, I want more. I want more out of this, right? Mm-hmm. You get to a certain point where you're like, I'm stale, stagnant, and I don't like it.
Right.
And so, I came here, and you and I ended up getting hooked up with the group. I think
we did join about the same time.
We did, yeah. I think I was reached out to Leaf before. That's right. Then immediately almost brought you in or said you should talk to him about getting him in. And then we quickly started doing range days, and then it was like, training, let's do this, go. And, I remember going to that first one, and it was like, these guys are on another level, and that's a level that I want to be.
Right.
I want to be there. I want to be better than that as well. I want to surpass them.
Yeah.
Because I have that competitive nature. But, so, here we are. Yeah.
And that's the mentality that a lot of people do have inside the group.
Yeah. Our little tribe.
It's true. I didn't realize like how much I took my state for granted as a kid. Like I didn't.
Arizona.
I'm from Arizona. Mm-hmm. And so we have similar laws to Wyoming. I mean, they've had.
Welcome. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, you can pretty much do whatever you want. What was it? The constitutional carry was passed in 2010. And even before then, I mean, the permitting system was really easy to do, and it reciprocated with a lot of states, just like Utah does. But I didn't know that stuff because I've mentioned this in other episodes, but the extent of me doing, shooting guns outside of Boy Scouts was just seeing a revolver my dad had under his pillow, or under his mattress, or like seeing it, people out there. My mom, she didn't really understand a lot of it, and so it was just, oh yeah, that's no, I don't want you to do that yet, or I don't want you to do that at all.
Yeah.
But she didn't care. She wasn't against it. I think she just didn't understand. It just wasn't a priority for us.
Right.
And so as I got older, then that's when I realized, wait, I can buy a gun. My first gun was a Springfield SD40.
Nice.
So 40 cal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was a
Big hefty.
SDV 40 or whatever that was. Yeah, I hated that gun. I dissuade anybody from ever buying that stupid thing. But
I did kind of the same mistake.
Aren't those SDVEs? Those are like the number one handgun used in crime.
Yeah.
I think
really?
statistic because they're dirt cheap.
Yeah,
I thought
they're
Glock
dirt
would be
cheap.
the
I bought
number
mine for $315.
Yeah.
Oh, not even.
Not even.
So that's why then.
Yeah.
That's why.
Because you can get them for pennies.
Yeah.
In comparison to some other brands.
And I bought it at a gun show, and I didn't know the process yet. And I bought it at a gun show. I'm like sitting there for like an hour because they had to run my driver's license as opposed to a concealed weapons because they don't do that a whole lot. And so it was like, this sucks. Like I came to enjoy the show, and
here I am trapped.
Buying a gun.
For those saying there's loopholes, no such thing.
No.
Like you still have to do a background check.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's cool. Like there's kind of all different backgrounds, even displayed within us three.
Yeah, just even us.
So like as we've been in the group, I'm sure we've learned a lot. I mean, you seem to have learned a lot, in such a short amount of time because you've been here, Isaac, how long?
For 3 years, but I didn't start shooting until 2019. In July 2019.
But you've picked up really good, just from the videos I've seen on social media, just of you posting your training days, dude. Like it's crazy to just see how good, like you have good form. And it's dude.
Thank you.
I aspire to be.
Thank you,
dude. And lately on his page, if you've seen the video, I mean, you've stepped it up with the GoPro and just kind of punching it
Yeah,
out,
oh,
and
yeah.
doing
So
that stuff,
that was
and
the
it's
thing.
like,
I
dang, dude,
post-
this kid's putting in work.
I'm putting a lot of dry fire behind the
Yeah.
live fire, and that's
Right.
why.
Right.
Is because when I first got the ammo, and that ammo is freaking scarce right now.
Oh, yeah.
But before when I stocked up at NPS, I decided like, oh, you know what, I'm just gonna build up to 500, and I'll just kind of keep it on the side, and then I'll just dry fire, and then I eventually just watched. Actually, to be honest, I saw a T-Rex Arms video. It was like one of his very first
yeah.
ones.
For sure.
Yeah.
And it was like him with a GoPro. I don't know if
Yeah.
you guys seen that.
No, dude, I
That
remember
was the
those.
one.
Yeah,
That
back
was
in the
one.
day
And so
when
I
he was
saw
shooting
that
in that
first.
wash drain out thing. Yeah, dude, I remember
I
that.
saw that one.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I could probably do that.
Right.
And so then I only had, and so my mistake, I bought, my first gun was a 45 M&P.
Man's gun.
Bruh, 10 rounds is
God's
enough.
caliber.
10 rounds is enough.
Because they didn't make a 46.
So I got that gun, and I was like, man, I could probably do that at the range. So if you look
Yeah.
back at my page, you'll see me go to the range with a 45.
Right.
And I was just like, bro, this is not working out for me because I'm not able to hold the gun. I'm getting blisters because the grip is actually really gritty on the gun.
It's aggressive.
Yeah, it is aggressive. And so then my second gun was, I like the form of the M&P, so I ended up getting the M&P 9.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
now I just brought down the recoil like significantly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I was able to do a lot of reps through that, watching like all these
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
I could say names, but I don't like, so I could go on forever. But the inspiration where it came from was from Lucas. And,
Yeah.
and so props to him. Thank you. Inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
But my man, he made me he made me want to go out and shoot guns. And as soon
absolutely.
as I saw
Yeah.
the
And
one
the running
reload
gunning
one,
as well.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
one reload, the running and gunning with like his HK. That's what brought it all.
Yeah.
And I was like, I could do the same. I just don't know how to get there. So
Right,
that's why I learned
right.
how, like, took the
Right.
knowledge.
Yeah.
I learned. I did the dry firing. If you go on my pages, you can kind of see where I was dry firing the most. And like the range days is just for like show, but
Yeah.
actually kind of be accountable at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
So
It's different when you do your own shooting and then you go to one of our range days. The one that I'm in just in my mind's eye, the one that I'm thinking of is when I was taking photos and we ended up at the end of that day. We were doing that the shoot, run back, and then shoot.
yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Like
That was hard, by the way. My legs is like
looked-
gigantic.
it looked
right now.
difficult.
It was very hard for me. I never played football.
my body has PTSD. But like at first it was only yourself and like a couple of other people that were doing it.
Yeah.
But because of how much ruckus we were making about the competitiveness of it,
Yeah.
it was like, dude, go,
Yeah,
go,
yeah.
go. Like all of a sudden everybody was like, yeah, I don't want to do it anymore. I want to go do that, And
Yeah.
then all of a sudden everybody,
Yeah.
came and did that.
Yeah.
But it very quickly turned into like an accountable, competitive, get better.
And that's where I hold myself accountable to. I like to raise my standards high. I mean, I got it from JJ Rakaza. As soon as I was watching some of his videos, and he gets mad. Like
He does.
the brother gets
I've-
mad for missing a target or doing something wrong or like fumbling on his
Yeah.
or his reloads in practice and dry firing. And I'm just like, yeah, that guy's badass, but I could probably be the same way. So I try to imitate that
Right.
mentality, right?
Yeah.
So the standards has now been brought up. It's
Right.
way high.
Right.
Oh,
So
yeah.
now we try to shoot one circle like this. And
Exactly.
if we miss, we like,
Yeah.
fricka.
Is that a
Yeah.
Hawaiian word?
Yeah, you could say
Okay,
that.
okay.
Just fricka and then fricka.
It's an Isaac word.
Yeah.
I get mad sometimes when I don't
Yeah.
hold myself to the standard,
No, absolutely.
So
Yeah. And that's why the range days, I love them.
Yeah,
For that
you
reason
know,
alone.
we're competitive in a good way because there's a bad way to be
Yeah.
competitive with this stuff. Like
No,
where we're
right.
stepping
Yeah.
on each
Absolutely.
other's toes,
Right,
and,
right, right.
and being
Or
jerks to each
saying,
other.
That's
haha,
not the
you
way.
missed,
No.
or
That's not the
whatever,
way. So
But-
we'll be nice to each other, but if there's a
Absolutely.
way how to be like better, we'll like take
Well, but
that
we'll
in.
be very quick to show the other guy how
yeah.
to do it too.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
take it in.
Right. Hey,
We'll just
no,
learn.
maybe just do it that way, or
Especially
whatever.
when,
Yeah,
especially
yeah.
when we bring new people in,
Oh,
because
dude.
they have bad habits.
Absolutely.
Hey, bro.
You know, and
And that was
Try
that's the
this
thing.
instead.
Yeah.
I don't know
you
if you were there, but there was one range day at night where this new guy came, and it was with Leaf and the other guys too, but it was a brand new guy, and he was like, "Hey, how do you do that?" And Leaf was like directing him.
Oh,
But he
yeah.
was directing
I don't
him
think I
most
was
of
able to make that one.
He was
Yeah.
he was directing him most of the time, but the amount of improvement going from just a draw, holy smokes!
in a matter of a couple of hours.
yes,
kind of thing, yeah.
brah,
Mhm.
like he
Yeah.
improved, and now he's like, "Hey, can I like messaging me, Leaf, everyone
Right.
on the chat. He's like, can I like learn more? How do you do this? How do you
Right.
do that? Like,
Yeah.
and so that's the like inspiration that we get from each other.
Yeah.
We kind of like, hey, here's the love. Go
Yeah.
learn.
Yeah.
And then
You
that
know, go learn.
that bleeds into other portions of, I think, our lives too.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, hey, I just got a house, or I just did
Right.
this, or I just did that.
Yeah.
Cool. How'd you do that?
How do you? What do you?
How-
That's what I was
yeah.
gonna.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
gonna say. Like, because we're looking for one real estate agent right now for one house. Because
I'll slip into your DMs. Shout out to Carl Spencer.
Carl Spencer.
Nah, but like, I
Hope
know
he
one
watches.
Polynesian friend who's also a real estate agent, but we haven't kept in contact. I would like to know everyone's
Yeah.
side. You know, not just
Yeah.
one. Put all the eggs in one basket.
Right.
Right.
I want to kind of know everyone. So I mean, that's the cool thing about our
Yeah.
group. We kind of just spread the love between each other, and that's what I like the most.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a good group. It's a good dynamic. You know, I always come back to talking about that because the people in our group, they're just solid people, and you would never know. Most of us, like,
Yeah, bro.
you would never know most of us can, carry firearms. And actually,
You wouldn't think it. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know if you guys have seen that video, and I'm bringing this up because I just thought about it. But yesterday I saw a video about a guy saying he's like, you want good men, and the you want good men to be dangerous men. You know, I don't. Have you heard that saying before?
I've heard it once.
Yeah, and you
But
want,
it's like a
and-
ring
and-
I've heard a
and-
version of
and
that.
you
Yeah.
can-
Yeah, that's-
because
yeah.
good, dangerous men and women, I guess,
Yeah.
will protect their families, will protect their home, their livelihood, everything they care about, but still be loving to those that are not in their circle.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
Right.
Absolutely.
and it there's that whole saying of like being an alpha male, and that's so misunderstood nowadays. Like,
Or,
people see that like out being an alpha is
toxic masculinity
Yeah,
as well as
yeah.
another catchphrase.
Yeah.
Disgusts me.
And I think everybody in our group, maybe except for me or something, I don't know, but I think everybody's an alpha. I think like everybody has a lot to offer,
Sure,
not just
yeah.
with guns, like not just with firearms. I think they have a lot to offer. I mean, they're excellent family men. They
Yeah.
care about their jobs. They care about their, just everything about not guns.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the thing. Like these guys, I would probably trust with my life. I would trust with my life. So I don't know.
Except for a buddy drag, I can't do that. So if you go down,
Oh,
you're on your own.
sorry.
Amputee jokes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I don't mean to define you by your amputation, but do you want to talk about like just how you've adapted to kind of doing?
Dude, I just still don't know how.
Yeah,
I don't
That's
even
how
know
you
that I
stand out,
have,
bro.
to
That's
be
how you
honest.
stand
I don't
out
even
the
know if
most.
I have, but yeah. So,
but it's probably trained your mindset to be a little different, in some regards, right?
And that's
Yeah.
why when we were talking, sorry,
Yeah.
take away the spotlight, small kind, but like we were talking the other day, or sorry, I was watching the other day about stance, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
so
that
different
live
for
with
this
him.
guy because he only get one leg, and so like stance
Considerations
cannot
are
be
different.
there's more than one way to skin one cat, huh?
Yeah.
And so like stance doesn't mean anything when you have to move into a different position.
yeah.
So that's,
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, and
My
so
bad.
yeah. Brothers watching at home, and if you're not, watch.
Watch at home.
Yeah. Shameless plug. Watch the
I
YouTube.
cannot do what you guys do.
Dude, I just channel my inner Hodge twin.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Damn good show.
damn good show, yeah. Oh, dude. Anyway, yeah. So I am an above the knee amputee, aka amputee. What?
No, it's just
Or amputee.
amputee.
That's what I was
gonna-
gonna say.
I never
Sorry,
even thought
sorry,
of
man.
that.
You should
I
not
didn't
be
even.
laughing. That is.
How dare you body
Stop
shame
laughing.
me?
Stop
How dare you
laughing.
body shame me?
Yeah, don't laugh.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Body
Um,
positive.
I
You're
put shame
okay.
on my
Body
face.
positive.
Put my head down.
Yeah. So, yeah. So while I was serving a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints down in Brazil, in a neighborhood, Porto de Santana, my companion and I were out on a morning run on a Monday morning, and through a series of decisions, we ended up in a situation where he was on the train and I was running along the side of it. to make sure that, he was okay, what's going on, that kind of thing. And I ended up slipping and falling, forward, that natural reaction to grab and support yourself. I ended up grabbing the train. It was a freight mover, so I think I was grabbing one of the ladders or
like
cable
the
or
rail,
something. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, I ended up grabbing something, and so it was dragging me on, on my right side. And so then I thought, this is not good. I need to do something about it. So then I ended up getting my feet, or I attempted to get my feet up under myself. And then my plan was, as soon as I could, I would just push and roll away or whatever. I don't know. It was, Anyway, so I tried to do that. It didn't go over. I ended up just falling for good that time on my face. And, as I went down, I went to protect my face. I did. But the momentum of the speed at which I was going.
Because you're still moving along the train, right?
Kinetic energy.
Yeah.
So my legs ended up, still. So I was kind of bent like that, and my left leg ended up getting caught on something. On the train, I ended up getting flipped around 180 degrees. I hit my head multiple times on the rocks there. And this isn't gravel. I mean, it's like, softball size kind of rocks. And, it ended up gashing me and opening them up, and I was kind of bleeding a little bit. And then it ran over, the train ran over. So it was one axle with two wheels, because each axle has those two wheels. And it ran over just a little bit above my kneecap on my left leg. So I was kind of laying there on my back, kind of like a spread eagle-ish looking position. It runs over. And it honestly felt like, there wasn't an initial pain. It just passed over me. And it felt like somebody had been tying a tourniquet.
Yeah.
And then it just released. Yeah. The pain and pressure released. So then my right leg gets caught on something else, and I'm thrown out and away from the train.
Oh.
So after, kind of, again, for me, like the spaces of time were one continue. It was like I was just closing my eyes and I opened them back up. But I was later told that, I'd pass out a little bit and come to, pass out, come to, kind of thing. So I did, eventually come to. And, when I had my eyes closed, I was like, dude, why am I pissing myself? Like, what is going, I totally thought I was. And so then, I sit up and I'm looking, I finally come to, and I'm a little woozy from getting my head banged around on rocks and stuff. And I just kind of, scan what's going on, and I see the train, it's still passing. I'm just like, whoa, and I'm feeling a little woozy, lightheaded. Well, then I look down, and I'm like, dude, am I, like, son of a gun, am I peeing myself? So I look, and it's just blood pouring out of my leg, There wasn't that dramatic squirting from Saving Private Ryan or all the, the movies. It just was, my femoral artery was smashed. It was severed by, a heavy object, essentially just smashing it open.
So blood was just
it was just pouring out like water from a jug. So anyway, I'm like looking, and prior to going out, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So like when I went to college, I took some prereq courses for EMT. And so I knew, I was like, dude, and from Boy Scouts, all the medic badges and stuff. I'm like, dude, so that's the one they talk about. So I'm like, well, I've got minutes to live, right? That's what they say. And so, anyway, I look, and it's there, and by a handful of tissue, my leg is still attached, but it's unnaturally in that direction.
Different direction.
Yeah, the knee is bent, but the leg itself is like out that way. It was just weird. My shoe was still attached, and I just was looking at it, and I was like, holy, and it's looking gray and yellow.
Listener discretion is advised.
Listener advised, take the kids out of the room. But, so, and it's looking gray and pale. It's not like gray, but it's yellow. It's more on the yellow side of gray.
You can tell it's drained of blood, for sure.
And And I was looking at it and I was like, oh my God, is it, and then it hit me. I had this very like, oh my gosh, this is what surreal feels like. It was, I was like, holy crap, Anyway, so then I'm thinking, I'm like, well, that's it, and so I thought about taking off. I was wearing a light sweater. I thought about taking off the sleeve and tying at least a tourniquet, but I was like, dude, I mean, it's my femoral. Like, I'm gonna die anyway. So it was a little chilly that morning. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go out a little warm. I don't want to die cold.
What did your companion say?
So he wasn't even there. Not when it initially happened, right? And so then, after talking to him years later, after he and I reconnected, he told me, he was like, dude, I saw you go under the train, and then you came back out, and you just laid there like a lifeless rag doll. And I was like, dude, he's dead. So that's where I tell you, I'm like, I was probably passed out or something, And so anyway, I'm like, dude, and so I was thinking about it, and the only thing that I could think of was, well, I guess I'll pray, and we'll see what happens. Mm-hmm. So I did. Right. And so, I mean, it's not like I was picking myself up and getting out of there. Yeah. So, yeah, I did that. I prayed, and in that I just offered up this, I don't want to see a light at the end of the tunnel. I don't want this dramatic thing. Just, I know it's coming.
I just want to blink into it.
Just take me home kind of thing, And anyway, so then I started thinking about my family, my brother, and he was preparing to go on his. And I was like, dude, his impression is going to be that, as soon as Misha go out, they just die, So then I was like, I don't want that to be his. So then my prayer changed, and then I started asking, I was like, look, I don't know how you're going to do it. And I don't know if I have the faith to do it, or to offer up for this, as an offering for this favor, if you will. I don't know, if I have that faith sufficient to do it.
Yeah.
But I also don't know how you can do it. I also believe that you can do it. But get me out of this.
So
I don't know how.
Trust.
And
you
I
just put straight up trust in it.
I mean, dude, it was all I had.
Yeah.
All I had. I didn't have a dollar in my pocket. I didn't have a dollar in my pocket.
Yeah. Did you have?
I didn't even have a phone.
At that, I was gonna say.
I didn't even have a phone. No, I didn't even have a phone.
So after that, I mean, did you? You've told me this story a couple of times, but I always forget. How did you call? Did people in the neighborhood?
Yeah. So after a certain amount of time, it started getting attention, and initially, so when my companion came over, after I don't know how long, the rail crossing guard came. He radioed it in, and then the ambulance was trying to get to where I was. But if you look at it on Google Maps, it was just, there was only like a goat path on the side of the train.
It's like an alleyway, right?
Yeah.
It was an alleyway.
It was
with
between
a
houses,
yeah.
And stuff. And so high walls on either side kind of thing. So the bus itself couldn't physically get to where I was.
Right.
And so they tried one access point. It didn't work. They only got so far. And then they backed out and went around to the other access where the other, it would lead to, and couldn't do that. And so then eventually they ended up just humping it with a backboard and their stuff,
Yeah.
But so anyway, a multitude of people ended up showing up, and and one of them there had a phone that
they called.
Yeah. Anyway, so
that's a but that was a lot of time from the moment of the incident.
So I was later told by medical staff that the point of amputation to when I first received medical care was 40 to 45 minutes later.
Damn, that is like a long time, bro.
That's too long.
And was there no way to stop were you just still bleeding out at the time?
I mean, like,
you're just so out of it, dude. Like you.
No, I was still bleeding.
Oh,
it was still going. And again, I was told that, so there was that little fact, right? 40 to 45 minutes later.
Yep.
But then I was told of the, what is it, like 10 units of blood. You could only lose like 3 of them.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. I had lost 8 units.
Yeah, bro, that's a lot.
So I only had 2 units of blood, however many cc's or whatever that
too much.
mathematical thing is.
No matter what.
There were, there's a lot of things. Science dictates that I should be dead, but I'm here.
Because you was knocking on the door, bro.
That's a good way to put it.
I was slipping notes under the door and knocking on it. Yeah.
Hello.
Tapping on the window.
Yeah.
Hello.
Right
Yeah.
here. Just, yeah.
Dude, I don't mean to make light of it, but dang, like at this point, I mean, kind of have to, right? I mean,
No, it's
all in the past. I mean, that was over
Yeah.
12
whatever.
years ago.
Yeah.
Now? 13 years ago.
No, it will be 10 years next month.
Oh, dang.
Wait, you served when again?
09 to 11.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
I served
California.
10 to 12.
09 to 11.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
August 26. I remember. So
Yeah, I think my amputation happened on the 26th too, or it was the 22nd or the 26th.
we were meant
Yeah.
to be together. We were meant to be together.
Hey, at least take him out for dinner first.
Bro, I'm
bro.
going to treat them nice. And
Oh, hey, we still got the things you brought us today,
yeah,
too.
so we made
Smell,
musubis. Everyone knows
Yeah.
about that. Musubis.
Well, dude, yeah.
I'm excited to try them.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
but like, so that all being said, then, I mean, I think even more so, you're probably evolving more. You're trying to adapt more so than us, I mean,
Yeah.
in the shooting world,
Yeah.
and in a lot of other aspects too.
Yeah,
I mean,
because
things we don't really think about.
To your point, what you were talking about, right? We did 2A Guy Leaf did a live, right? And you had brought the question up that was the inspiration for it, but the question was stance, right? And so I got on there, and I was like, dude, I got something to say about it. And while I agreed with everything that Leaf was talking about, he says, look, you need to practice all of them, because if an opportunity presents itself, you have absolutely no way of choosing what stance you will be in, right?
You
So
just
it could be way off to your
funky
left,
stance,
and
It's
Right.
more
in the
funky
peripheral
stance.
or whatever,
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, and so I told him, I was like, dude, I don't have those options. If I'm on crutches, which I am all the time, for me, a fighting stance is squaring up, tucking my crutches in my armpits, and just
Square up.
squaring up on whatever it is,
Yeah.
whatever that
But I mean,
target
you
ends
have
up being.
that stability still. I mean, more so than
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
And I have practiced a couple of times. I need to do a lot more of it. But where I'll break away from my crutches, I'll throw them away, because most of the times they end up being a hindrance more than anything.
I guess I can kind of see that.
So I break away from them. But then the question is I'm hopping around on my sound leg, and so that's not stable at all. Like trying to break a shot as I'm doing.
No,
that's
absolutely.
not.
I was
can't do
thinking.
that.
I was
So-
thinking like as you were doing that, if you were to throw the crutches away, you would kind of just drop down on your ass. and
Exactly.
kinda just
I would just kind
stable
of.
platform, huh?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then- yeah. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I'm kind
But
of.
the issue with that then,
scenario,
right? But the issue with that is that once I do drop down,
it's gonna be a hell of a hot.
how am I going to get out of
Yeah,
it? There is no
Yeah.
breaking away.
There's
Like all of a sudden, I could get off the X. Buzzword for the tactical community.
Buzzword.
Yeah, get off the X.
although that is a good. That is
No,
a good
it's a valid thing. I get it. Whatever. So
Yeah.
calm down in the comments.
thing.
This ain't
gonna go
Garand
hard.
Thumb. Nobody cares.
Because even in my videos, I'm just like this,
Yeah,
and I'm like,
but
I've even had my boss too say like you should be getting off the X.
Yeah.
I plan on practicing. that
right,
more.
and there's 100% validity to it,
Yeah.
and a person should. But once I get on my butt like that, I've created a new X, and I can't get off of it. Mentally, I haven't. Like, what am I? Like unfortunately, the only way I've thought about doing that is if I like roll backward, like a kid on my back to my head. Where you roll back and then I'm back on or whatever.
Your legs, yeah.
Or I roll to one side or the other.
Right.
But then I start looking like those, half-ass Pakistan military videos where I start rolling around with those
Or just
ISIS
a-
recruiting
just
ones.
look like a
where
hot-
they,
look
where
like
they
a
just
hot
start
dog.
like
Hey,
they
where's
start
it
looking
going?
like a
Hey,
hot
what's
dog
doing
rolling
over
around.
there?
Yeah, and they're
I
like
see
pointing the
you.
gun, like rolling around.
Yeah.
But like for me, considerations on stance and stuff is way different.
Right.
Way different, and it's applicable if a guy breaks his leg or has an injury and you have to be on crutches. I get that, but yeah.
That's kind of hardcore
that's
if you were to
tough.
be in a fight and you do something like that, huh?
Yeah.
Because
No, for me, it's like
you-
nothing but
you-
jujitsu.
Yeah,
at
you
that
almost
point.
have to be sure that you're gonna win.
yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
Like
Oh,
if
yeah.
you're gonna engage.
No,
You
if,
shoot
yeah.
to win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every
I-
time.
I hate to say it like that, but
Shoot to kill.
Yeah, shoot
Yeah.
to kill or
Yeah.
yeah, shoot to maim. even
because that
Yeah.
kind of puts you
whatever.
as a target, bro. Like they see you
Mhm.
as an opportunity, an
Yeah.
easy opportunity.
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
So you kind of have to have eyes on the back of your head. At all
Don't
times.
mess with Logan.
Bro, he's bad. Don't even. No, but I mean, like, it kind of. Like
But it
I'm
does.
saying,
It
yeah,
does. No, I
People
mean,
see the opportunity.
if you were
right?
if you were to ask my wife, I am, whenever we go anywhere, I'm always just kind of, are you listening to me? Yeah, I am. But I'm always looking around
yeah. And
because
that's a good mentality you always have.
obviously. But for me, it's like, dude, I've got to be
Check your exits.
100%.
Yeah.
Because if something happens, like,
Be
Yeah.
strategic.
the dude comes in to shoot up a Starbucks. Not that I would be at a Starbucks, but the dude comes in to shoot up a Starbucks and he sees this little bunny hop guy going across. He's like, what the? Boom, boom, boom,
That's gonna
like,
be funny to watch, but also sad to watch at the same time.
Yeah.
but then especially if I'm out with my wife and kids, then I've got to, protect them. And so anyway,
Yeah.
the laundry list goes on because, there's the fight or flight.
Yeah,
I don't have flight. It's been taken from me.
yeah,
So
like, what do you do
it's
with
nothing but fight
yeah.
or escape in some way. I don't know.
Well,
something
like
pretty much for you, it's just
I don't know what to do.
Yeah, shoot the win, bro. You in it to win. If something happens, you in it to
It's
win
just the way that it has to be.
and you gonna win.
Yeah. That's hard. But hey, man, you're here. You're doing it regardless. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
important thing. I think
I try. That's for sure.
if somebody has, I guess, quote unquote, an impediment in, a physical impediment, whatever, I think they overcome that by doing other things. Like I'm gonna be as accurate as possible.
Mhm.
I'm gonna be
Yeah.
in the right mindset to where, I'm being strategic about where I sit in a restaurant. Am I
Yeah.
gonna sit next to the exit?
Right.
Am I gonna sit next to the
Or if
entry?
I
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
in a strategic, okay, well now I've got to start thinking, well, if something happened, where would I go? What would I do?
Right.
Yeah, what
So
would
you're
I
kind
tell
of
my
planning ahead of time.
Yeah.
what I tell my family to
Mhm.
do?
Right.
What's the plan?
Right.
Yeah.
At least the loose plan, because you can't
Mhm.
always.
No,
Heaven forbid we're ever in a situation like that.
Right,
Anybody's in
right.
this
it's a liquid situation. It's just it never will conform.
game day decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
Yeah, it's crazy.
but yeah,
Um,
that's me.
Yeah, and then, dude, I appreciate you sharing that. Like,
That was really deep though too, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I'm gonna treat you out for dinner, bro. What you like?
Wait, really quick. I have a question. It's in the same vein.
Uh-oh.
Okay, I've seen this on a lot of other podcasts, but I want you to. So you know how when you're on death row, you
Yeah,
get to choose
last
your last meal.
Yeah.
Okay, what would your last meals be?
Oh man.
Dude.
Probably be my Hawaiian food
Yeah.
from back home.
Yeah, I'd probably do like
Like something
Brazilian
that
barbecue.
Yeah, something that
Yeah.
you always used to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a rodizio. No.
You
Rodizio.
okay, name it. What's on your plate?
Go ahead, Logan.
Like
Go ahead.
you can have as many plates as you
Oh.
want. You can have a drink. You can have a whole every.
Dude,
you
I
can
would
even have-
100% do like either a strawberry coconut limeade
Oh, cuz.
or
Try to say
just
that
a straight
fast, huh?
no foreplay here, buddy. Or a straight pineapple juice, just blend it up with water and sugar. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That would be obviously my libation of choice. I learned that word.
Don't say that word. Sounds weird. Libation.
Yeah, you don't remember that from
I
The
know,
Mandalorian?
I know.
The Empire guy? Where he's
Yeah,
like,
I remember.
May I offer you a libation?
Yeah.
Anyway.
I know.
So, but yeah, dude, it would be, I'd have a bit of vinagrete. I would have, which is like a Brazilian pico de gallo, but it's not spicy. It's vinegary.
And yeah, it's just more of like a.
But it's
No,
tomato,
flavoring.
pepper, onion. It's chopped up the same way, but you put in a little bit of olive oil, apple cider vinegar or white vinegar. It doesn't matter the vinegar, and then lime juice. So it's more acidic kind of thing. Anyway, so I would have chimichurri, vinaigrette, and then I would do the picanha, fraldinha, like all those different beef cuts that they do.
Oh yeah.
And that'd be it, dude. That'd probably be how I go out.
Cuz.
Keep
Yeah.
in mind you're wrongfully accused and you're on death row. Nobody commits murder here.
No,
Okay.
no, except for on Call of Duty. Watch out, kids.
No, bro.
Watch out, kids. Okay, Isaac. What about you?
Oh man. if I was to have one plate, the last plate, it would probably be a luau plate, because it's my favorite. I mean, whenever we have luau's back at home, I always go to the kalua pig, the poke, the poi. A lot of people don't like poi, but I do.
Poi.
So fish and poi is like my favorite, and especially with poke. Lomi salmon, chicken long rice, and then shucks, there's a couple other ones. Kulolo as my dessert. There's something I don't know if you guys even know.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Okay, so kulolo is one.
Okay.
Halpia, chocolate halpia macadamia nut pie. And that's from Ted's Bakery back home in Hawaii on North Shore. And then the drink now. Oh man. Oh, if I had another dessert, it would probably be goody goody ice cream. My dad knows how to make that one. I think we do it with like the diamond head strawberry soda, and you mix that with an ice cream, and that, I swear to God, is so good. It's so good. Anyways, I'm getting off course. A drink would probably be, probably the normal. Oh man, which one did my mom make? My mom usually makes good drinks back at home, but I cannot think of it off the top of my head. So if anything, right now, it will probably just be one like a Hawaiian Sun, guava lilikoi.
Oh, dude.
So those are good.
Such a fan of guava.
Yeah,
me too.
Guava is, I mean,
passion fruit too.
yeah. I mean, guava
Yep.
lilikoi is very good. I mean, my wife can relate as well, because she from Cambodia has that, and she's Cambodian. Cambodia has that type of tropical climate.
Yeah.
And so they have like
all
guava.
that.
I swear,
yeah.
like their guavas are huge, like this
They're
big.
big.
Yeah.
I've seen-
Yeah.
And when they get
Dude,
ripe, it's like-
avocados in Brazil are like
that's what I'm saying, bro.
that big.
Like
you
go
come here
outside
and you
of-
get the little Haas Mexican avocado
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And you're like,
I mean, we have
No,
avocados
but like
in
when they're
Hawaii,
cutting
bro.
them, they're like this.
Yeah,
or
I
yeah.
know. Yeah.
using a
I
little
wonder
trowel.
how
Yeah.
big like the seed is too, bro. It's probably like
it's
a massive.
It's like a golf ball or bigger kind of thing.
baseball.
Yeah.
Bro. That's huge. But you know, like the climate in Hawaii has the same climate in Cambodia or Asian in some
Right.
Asian areas.
Hot,
like the
humid.
Asia.
Yes,
Yeah.
the Philippines have them too. So
Yeah.
I mean, like we have mountain apples. If I was to choose a fruit, my last fruit would be a mountain apple, because, and you guys probably need to look that one up. But mountain apple, it's a good one because I've grown up with it. My grandma planted mountain apple trees all along the side.
How do you spell that? Is it mount? You said mountain.
Yeah, mountain. Yeah,
mountain.
Yeah, or mountain.
I'm looking it up right now.
Mountain.
With the Utah pronunciation.
Mountain.
Mountain. Mountain.
I can turn on and off the accent if I really want to, but
Oh, those look not like an
they're
apple.
they're very delicious. I mean, it's soft. It's like, oh man, how do I explain them?
Yeah, I don't even.
It's not an apple because apples are very hard and kind of chewy.
They look fig-y, like a fig.
These are very soft, but we
Yeah.
call them mountain apple. There's another
Okay.
name
They look like
for
a
'em.
cross between like a cherry and like a tomato.
Yeah.
The
Almost.
bigger ones, the big dark red ones, are like the best.
Are they?
Because they're really really good. But
Yeah.
that would be my plate.
Let's
Yeah.
go, bro.
Yeah.
Like we don't have to wait.
Bro,
till
I feel like we're going to Hawaii tomorrow, bro.
That'd be nice.
I'm sure you miss it, man.
I do, and that's why my mom flew down 2 days ago, and she brought over some
All the
lao lao.
favorite stuff.
I forgot to say lao lao. That was
Ooh.
another one.
So you, dude,
So
your
that-
your plate's probably like this.
Yeah, because I would pick out and just have if I did
Standard
have
Islander
unlimited-
size.
bruh. And that's the thing. Polynesians, they eat huge, and a lot of them are huge. But even though I am poly, I can still kind of put down. When I was in the mission in the Samoan ward, cause I kid you not, I went from 145 to 202 when I came back home.
Yeah.
And it was
Dang.
just because of the Samoan
believe
ward,
it.
because I'll
I
put them
believe
down.
it.
Taro, like the
Oh yeah.
plant.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I know. What that is.
They eat that like as their starch, as their potato. And it's heavy.
It's good.
It's heavy. I love it.
I love taro ice cream too.
Oh, cuz. Don't even.
Yeah.
I mean, in
Welcome
Hawaii,
to the Epic Handshake food channel.
Yeah. Food Network. Food Network.
Food Network.
Food Network.
We'll just have a cooking episode.
Right.
So funny. McDonald's has their, instead of the apple pies, they would sell taro pies
Oh, really?
and
That's
jalapeno
funny.
pies.
Yeah.
Cuz.
funny.
Just like
Kill us.
in India, how they have like what's called the Mikaloo tikki, and it's literally a pea patty.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. I know that McDonald's around the world, they'll do the cultural, they'll
Yeah.
adjust to the cultural
Yeah.
stuff. But
Yeah.
it's funny.
That is one.
But that brings up one thing I wanted to ask you,
Yeah.
Isaac.
Huh.
On social media, I don't do TikTok, but on Instagram, I'll like fart around during the day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working hard or hardly working kind of thing.
We all are.
Right. But and I almost want to say it was maybe the inspiration for why we got together anyway. But I kept seeing a lot of native Hawaiian or people, like, because there's a whole indigenous people.
Yeah.
They're talking about take back our lands and all this kind of very not hateful, but it's very anti-American or anti-Canadian type
For sure.
stuff, right?
Anti-North American.
Anti-North, that's probably a better way to put it, right? Is anti-Northern North American or colonizer kind of rhetoric. But I saw a lot of Hawaiians saying the same thing, right? It was like, and these are obvious, but like, no, I'm not Moana, and stuff like that. But like, it was there was a lot in. I was just kind of like, I personally have no information on it. It really hasn't been a part of my life for me to care enough to research about it.
Yeah.
If I'm honest about it.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of, and this is a question that I'll ask you is, what's up with all of the native Hawaiian hate towards the United States?
I think
or
they just,
mainland, if you will.
Yeah, I know what you mean. They take, you could say, I'm saying they, not in a racist type of a way, yeah. But when they come, I mean, back then, it was, we were living the Aina as best as we possibly could. Aina meaning land. And we were just taking care of it the way how natural Hawaiians, native Hawaiians would do it.
Right.
And then, electricity came.
Right.
All of that other kind of stuff came, right? And so later on, they started to realize that government is now taking over bits and pieces part of the land that has been kuleana, meaning passed down from family, from generation to generation. And we plan on doing this the same way too. The land that we have at home, we're never going to sell it, even though it's worth millions.
Right.
We're not going to sell it.
Sure.
And that's the thing. People will do that and not keep it kuleana. And we want it to keep it that way, because the more that the government tries to take over of Hawaii. I mean, you look at, I think it's Niihau right now, one of the islands. It's owned by the Robinsons, I think.
Oh yeah.
And it's I don't know if they're passed down from Hawaiian lineage, but in my perspective, if they weren't, that's now considered private land only for them. And I think that's bogus, because if they're haoles, white Caucasian, sorry.
I'm gonna put a dictionary in the description below.
You're gonna probably have to caption all of this, yeah. No, but I mean, like, it's just, I feel like it's just bogus, because we cannot go to any of the islands if someone was to take
it essentially
over Kauai.
takes that island out of visiting Hawaii.
The chain of chain of islands. And so I don't agree with, and I feel like that could happen over time. Where Kauai would be taken over, the Big Island might be taken over, because who knows? Mauna Kea has been overrun right now, and I don't know what the protest is going on right now about it, but I know that is the more the community in Hawaii gets together and comes together, like how they do in Mauna Kea, they can stop the more they do it, they can probably stop from land being taken over.
Right.
I just don't agree.
And actually I just saw a video recently of a girl saying, I'm tired of people, glamorizing Hawaii. I'm tired of these TikTok people that offer nothing to the islands of my heritage. Yeah. And they come here, make it look beautiful, and it drives people in droves.
It puts
here.
that sex appeal.
So here's the thing. And I watched this video.
I think you probably know what I'm talking. It's a girl that recently just posted it. Yeah.
Yes. And I watched the video that has to talk, and this explains it into the best way that I can probably explain it to anyone. Is that if you come to the Hawaiian Islands and you cherish and take care the way the Aina and the land, the way how our ancestors loved it, we can be more than friends. We can be family. You know what I mean? Because that's really malamaing the Aina.
Yeah, and plus there's only like 25% Native Hawaiians left in Hawaii because they can't afford to live there anymore.
Yeah, it's a dying culture livable establishment.
And I remember years ago when I was, I don't even think I was like 12 years old really. I might have been, but I remember one of the sisters serving in our ward was from Hawaii. And they were over for dinner, the standard thing or whatever. And I remember her saying and talking about it, that the Hawaiian language is dying.
Yes, it is.
Because nothing's written down. There's not like a dictionary for people to look up words, or there's not, kind of thing. And so a lot of words are just being forgotten.
Yes, and that's I 100% agree with you. And this is where it translates over to the gun community, right? Like, if you don't practice it, then it will just die.
Yeah, of course.
So
yeah.
I have a good family back home. I call them my cousins, but I don't know if we really are. But I grew up with them, and within their family, every fast Sunday, if it was their birthday of that month, they would always bear their testimony in Hawaiian. And they've done that with dope. Every single one of their children. And if any of you watch this, then you know who I'm talking about. But they are doing the best that they can in keeping the Hawaiian culture alive, because they practice it within their home. Right. They only talk, if I'm mistaken, they probably only talk to their children and teach them in Hawaiian. I could be wrong. Don't take that as facts. But if they do, that is very good. Yeah, we need more of that. We also need more of kuleana the land, which is taking care of it. Now, I have a legit cousin who, and if he's watching this, he can relate that wherever he's doing more agriculture, so planting taro, all of that kind of stuff. He gets his hands dirty, right? And I like to see that a lot.
Yeah.
So it makes me feel at peace, because I know that there are some good people out there that really do take care of the land back in Hawaii. So there is a chance that we can really get back the land.
And
from what was taken away.
And what's really deep. Yeah, what's really messed up too, in that same video we were talking about, this girl is talking about how Facebook just bought up 40 acres on Oahu.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Yeah, for what? That's the thing. That's not. It's not right. And
get that out of here.
Yeah.
You,
and
for company retreats,
I wonder,
team building activities.
This sounds bad. I don't know how I necessarily feel about reservations, but I wonder if back in the day, what would
applying something like that.
Yeah, applying something like that to the whole of the state of Hawaii.
Right.
Yeah. Making it like wherever a native Hawaiian lives still, that is part of the reservation.
Right.
Yeah.
And it cannot be touched. It cannot be altered. And it has to be passed on to somebody.
I wish there was a way that we can write that, and maybe there is if we find the loopholes. But like I was saying in the chat, if they wanted hard enough, if the government wanted it hard enough, they could probably take the land which is in the back of our place, which is a graveyard, according to my dad when he did the genealogy. It kind of
I remember you talking about that.
It goes back to the King Kamehameha's time. Now it's not King Kamehameha, but it goes back to that time of when we still had one king. And so that kind of breaks me up a little bit. Like, I don't agree. Like, that's not cool. I don't want any of that. Right. So Mauna Kea was a big testament to that. When people came together, what's his name? Dwayne was there. What's that guy from Aquaman? What's his name? Jason Momoa. Yeah. I mean, a lot of supporters. You know what I mean?
Big names.
Yeah.
I forget The Rock is.
Yeah, his mom was. Right.
So, well, they all came down, and just the fact, and my mom was like, it's getting really out of hand up there. And then it translated over to in Kahuku. I think there was like a couple weeks later from that whole Mauna Kea protest in Kahuku somewhere, they were trying to put up more windmills, and a lot of people were not about that. I wasn't either, because just keep it the way how it is. Right. And that's another thing that's going on right now is the turtles. There's a lot of people, and it's huge in Hawaii right now, that tourists are coming and they're harassing the turtles,
because they all want a selfie picture,
And just
something to post like, I'm saving a turtle.
Negative. If they die, then let them die.
It's the same thing with Yellowstone,
but
right?
Also
because that's about where my family is, right? They're all the time, you know, they'll, not that they necessarily care too much about it, but like they're like, dude, you get people from like New Jersey, New York, they come over there to visit Yellowstone because you know they've got no nature kind of thing, and you know they come out and like, ooh, the great open American West, the Wild West,
Big sky country.
No, yeah, I've
big
been
sky
there.
country.
I've been
you
there
know?
twice. I know what you're talking.
And they'll see like a
Buff.
There was a
Bison.
a
Bison,
story,
bison.
right? A story of a New Yorker that they saw a calf, a bison calf, saved it, and brought it to a ranger station or something like that.
They packed it in the back of their vehicle.
They put it in the back of their vehicle to save it, and they taught it. But then when the ranger station tried to reintroduce it back, it was rejected and died.
Yeah, well, they had to put
See?
it down because first off, we have diseases they're not immune to.
True. Yeah,
and so like it caused I remember
Yeah.
that was really
Yeah.
messed up, and you know these people were fined a lot of money.
Yep.
They were almost
And
jailed.
rightfully so.
Rightfully so.
And we're
So,
hoping that the
yeah.
people that harass the Hawaiian monk seal is also jailed, like the local community
Oh, yeah,
in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Because that's just that's not nice.
Yeah,
Dude,
no,
it's
Just
like-
leave it the way how it is. I understand that you want to help, but if you
you gotta let it naturally happen.
and
Yeah.
so there's a line, right? It's like if you see it getting hurt and you can actually do something about it, which will actually help them. Okay, yes, but then don't cross the line.
Well,
Exactly.
I would hearken it back where we were put on as stewards of the land, not helicopter moms of the land.
I agree.
Soccer
agree.
moms.
We're
of the
no
land.
Soccer mom,
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to all you Karens. Nobody likes you.
Or your chads.
Now, but yeah,
Yeah,
Hawaii. I mean, it is still a dying culture.
Yeah.
I mean, my mother always greets me in Hawaiian, and I always say "Maika ino," I'm good, or we always answer the phone with aloha. I always tell my boss aloha, and
Always end a phone call with aloha.
yeah.
Which
So
is
I
weird.
mean, it does mean I love
Ciao.
you, hello, I
Ciao.
love you, and goodbye.
You're
So,
right.
It's like saying ciao, and
True.
hi, goodbye.
Yeah.
Same thing. It's cool.
So,
Yeah, that's a cool culture. So your name is Isaac Woolsey. Where does Woolsey come from?
I think it's Irish. My
Irish.
dad's-
Okay.
The colonizers.
Colonizers. That's what I'm saying.
It's not British, bro. It ain't
yeah.
British.
That's kind of what I'm saying.
Well, that's
too.
what mine is.
That's kind of what I'm saying too. Is like even Native Hawaiians. I mean, there's
They're
not too
losing
many
the last names.
Yeah,
they're losing
I
the
cannot
names.
speak for all of them too, right?
Right,
But I
right.
know that a good friend of mine who I think he goes by Keone, his last name is York, like
York?
York.
Really?
But his family is very famous in Ka'ava. You know what I mean? Or not very, but they're pretty
They're
dang well known
Yeah.
in the community of
funny.
Ka'ava.
Sad but funny.
Yeah, but I mean the last name is York, but we would, and so it's kind of the same thing with my mother's side, right?
Right.
My mother's last name is Roland, maiden name is Roland, but anyone who hears the Roland name knows that they come from a good family, who does hard work around the farm, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, like we Hawaiian, I swear, if you was to meet my grandfather who did pass away, he looks white skin from like Chicago, you know what I mean? But as soon as he talks kind of like me, but way more thick, like way thick.
I like that. That's cool.
So way thick accent.
That's funny.
So, it's
Well, dude,
it's
can
kind
you
of a
blame him? Can you blame him?
Negative.
All them exotic girls.
No, for real.
Happened to me.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
No,
but yeah.
Yeah, it's just sad, man. What's happening out there, and I don't know. It's just like you said. If you don't pass on that legacy, what happens? And
It
like
just
it just
Dude,
carries-
at
like
the
you
end of
said,
the
it
day,
dies.
when you die, that's all you have.
yeah.
Yeah.
That is it. It's what you've done with your name and the legacy that you've left with whatever you've done with it.
I think that's what everyone. Well,
and
growing
legacy
up, no.
encompassing your kids.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
your grandkids,
Growing
all that
up,
kind of-
no, I think that's what I'm trying to strive for. My wife talks to me about it all the time, right? Like, you want your kids to be proud of you, so that way when you die, you leave this world in that type of a sense of, I gave it my best in my last breath, right?
Yeah.
I think we're going kind of deep right now, but
No, that's okay.
Oh, we'll go deep.
That's okay.
But you say that because I just recently read that be the man or be the type of a man that your son doesn't have to look up to another one or something
right.
like that.
Absolutely.
And
I
so that your kids don't have to look up to
Yeah.
a Superman or a Batman.
And I'm pretty sure
like
you
no, I want to
that.
be like Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you would want that. and or any parent would want that, right?
Or like that saying, like it's endearing, but it's also kind of sad for the fathers. Is oh yeah, oh that man is like, I say this all the time when I'm watching the dead air silencer videos with Mike Pappas. You know, I'm sure you guys are familiar with Mike Pappas. Yeah, Mike Pappas is a cool guy, and I always say on every live feed, live chat that they do, oh, Mike is a guy. He's your uncle that you wish was your dad. I always say.
Why did I hear that? I think I heard that somewhere.
Yeah,
too,
probably because of me. Probably because of me.
Probably you.
Yeah, you probably
That's
saw that
funny.
because they mentioned it on the
The
chat
uncle
every
that
time.
you want to be your dad.
Yeah, but
dad.
like,
Yeah.
in the sad reality, like I don't want to be that man. Well, I want to be a good
Yeah.
influence
Yes.
to
Yeah.
like other people's kids,
Yes.
but I don't want to be the primary influence.
I want to be the
Yes.
type of the dad that my little girl and boy and the future kids I'll have.
12.
Oh.
Sorry.
Now let's circle back to that. Ring check. That they'll go to school and be like, my dad can beat up your dad. I know he will.
Yeah, no.
You know,
I
like,
get it. I get
Bruh,
that.
if
You know.
I mean, if your dad was the Rock, guarantee, because like,
Well, you know.
just stop.
My dad will kill you with kindness.
Yeah.
Aye.
Yeah.
Aye.
Yeah.
That
kind of
no,
dad
that,
drinks his
no, that's
soy.
true though. That's true. Like you want to be that person,
Mhm.
that dad that
Absolutely.
your kids can look up to and also just be proud of.
Yeah.
You know.
And
Yeah.
my wife was actually talking about that too. There was a video that I watched. It was the same one I was talking about earlier. Is that, you know, anyone could be Hawaiian. I mean, you look at my dad. He's from Utah, Sandy, but when you talk to him, he almost has the same accent as me. Like you can hear the accent. We can turn it on and off.
Yeah.
When you talk to someone local, then it comes out like natural.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to get at is I'm deciding to be the man who I want to be because of good parents, and I'm going to live this way, and I'm not going to fake around it because.
Yeah.
So in other words, you see that I'm white skin, huh?
Yeah.
When people look at me, they're
you have
like,
you have a
"You're
nice
just."
tan though.
Yeah, thank you,
You're welcome.
thank you.
Sun-kissed.
Really sun-kissed skin. But no, like if you look at me, I'm Hawaiian. I'm more white, and you would mistake me for actually being Hawaiian until I talk,
Right.
right? And so it's, my wife was telling me, you know, you don't have to be brown skin. And a lot of times I was telling myself, man, I wish I was brown skin. I wish I was brown skin. You know, so that way people can kind of respect me, and that not respect me, but people can kind of
Categorize me as
a Hawaiian and not judge me off of
Right.
the way how I look, because when people look at me, they're like, oh, he's just another white dude from
Yeah.
Utah.
Right.
And I kid you not, when I was working at at this job that I was, a coworker of mine said, oh, no way, your name is Kekoa, my middle name. And I was like, yeah, you're not Hawaiian. Yeah, I am. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we kind of went
Right.
back and forth.
No, you're not.
Yeah, like,
Yeah. Prove it.
yeah. And so it's stuff like that. And so I was like, I shake my head. I'm like,
Hold on a second while I cut open my arm and it bleeds.
and bleed. Yeah. You know,
It
and
bleeds
so-
Hawaii.
It's
Yeah, no.
It's Pulehu.
Yeah,
coming out of my
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
My man. And so I was like, it kind of relates back to that video. Anyone can be Hawaiian as long as you treat live the way how our ancestors loved it. You know,
Oh, yeah.
treat it in the way, and also live up to that kind of legacy
Yeah.
of being the person who you want to be. So, and I'm not saying I will never be Brazilian or Mexican, but I can at least respect that type of a culture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I can gain that type of respect by living it
Right.
that way.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you know what I
100%.
mean. You know what I mean. It's kind of, it goes deep, and I cannot say for every Hawaiian local Hawaiian in Hawaii, because there's a hell of a lot better Hawaiian people than me
Right.
in Hawaii. Way better. I'm just good at shooting, and that's why I like to rep the Hawaiian culture from me,
Right.
because
With
I
the
feel
British flag, right?
bruh, that is
a quarter British.
Running
I
running
guess
joke.
quarter British.
Running
you know,
joke.
I did
Calm
some
down.
research on that, so
Running joke.
it is coming from the British side. But no, I try to rep the Hawaiian culture because I take that as my roots.
Yeah.
That's where I grew up from. You know, born and raised there, right? So that's why I'm so heavy on the Hawaiian side.
Yeah.
And that's good. You have to do that. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't want to lose my culture. I've been trying to
No.
teach my daughter Spanish. You know, my wife doesn't speak Spanish. I mean, she does her best from learning from me, but that's kind of how I have to do it.
Yeah.
I
And
have to-
tapping in on those
Oh.
junior, sophomore years of high school Spanish.
Oh yeah, no, she took Spanish all 4 years, but yeah, she still has to draw pretty heavily on me. But no, it's the same thing. You know, I try. I mean, here though, being in the Southwestern United States, I mean, we have a lot of Mexican influence, so it's not too hard.
Yeah.
It's not too hard. But
No.
I mean, even so, I mean, you get people that are third, fourth, you know, anything after the second or third generation, they're not speaking Spanish anymore.
Yeah.
Coconuts, brown on the
They're-
inside,
yes,
white on the
yeah,
inside.
Exactly.
Yep.
You see them a lot here in West Valley City.
Yeah.
You know, in this part of Salt Lake County, and,
Yep.
and you get these people that, I mean, their parents came over, they speak Spanish, but
Yeah.
they hate it. They hate speaking
Right,
Spanish.
right.
And
Or
it's
they
sad.
understand literally everything and can execute the task or do what is that, whatever. But like you ask them to speak, and they're like,
Nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
or either I'm good or I have no idea.
Or yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Or they speak when spoken to.
True.
Right.
You know, they
True.
hate doing
Yeah.
it. Yeah, and I'm just trying not to be that way. I wish I would have learned Spanish when my grandma was still alive, but my grandma hated me. So
Well,
yeah,
rest in peace, Grandma.
yeah, rest in
Yeah.
peace, grandma. But yeah,
Which is, and it's funny that you guys say that because my wife is Brazilian, immigrated here few years ago, and we speak nothing but Brazilian Portuguese to our kids.
That's
and in
the way.
fact, in our house, we don't speak really any English.
That is the way, bro.
And
this is the way.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got 2 under 2, so like these are not lengthy conversation. It's don't do that, or get your finger out of the light socket kind of stuff.
That would be bad.
But I mean, we talked about it, and that's what we plan on doing.
That's good.
It's retarded my wife's learning of English, and we're both cognizant of that. But for us, it was super important to be able to preserve that. And so I say that because we go to an all Brazilian ward. Well, not all Brazilian, but a Portuguese speaking ward.
Congregation for those.
yeah,
not
congregation.
in
Yeah,
the know.
yeah.
Not of the faith. But reach out. We could change that. Anyway. Yeah, because we have some people from Cape Verde and Angola, Africa,
Angola, yeah.
which speak Portuguese. Portuguese, not Brazilian Portuguese. But the kids that are there, they have worse accents than the missionaries.
Yeah. Yeah.
When they're blessing the bread and whatever.
We're talking about,
the battery.
Talking
cut
about
out.
kids, legacy, passing
Legacy,
it on.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the important thing in life.
Brazilian,
Yeah.
Cambodian,
Mm-hmm.
Mexican.
yeah.
It's all good
Hawaiian.
Passing it on.
Tongan,
Making sure that you
Samoan.
preserve what you can.
We're all just different shades of brown.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I was brown
I'm just kidding.
sometimes, huh? But as
Yeah.
long as you live up to the type of person you are, it shouldn't really matter
Yeah.
the
No,
color of
it
your
doesn't.
skin.
No, man, and true. Like, I have a biracial daughter. You have like a quadracial. You have quadracial children.
Yes.
You have biracial kids.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's kind of the name of the game nowadays. I mean, we're such an interconnected world now that we're all mixed.
Yeah.
We're all mixed. I mean, it's just a matter of what culture do we want to preserve for ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, that's kind of, I've come to terms with that, like, I think, was it you guys in the chat when I sent that Mexican American thing from the movie Selena?
I didn't see it.
Yeah, it's funny because he's like, oh man, yeah, see, all these people, all their ancestors come from across the ocean. Ours are right over there. And he's like, you gotta know Pedro Infante and what does he say? What's the singer's name?
Selena?
Dean Martin or something like
yeah.
that. You got to know Oprah and Christina, like all these
Yeah.
people. And he goes back, he's like, you have to be more Mexican than the Mexicans, more American than the Americans. It's exhausting. and so like
Right.
I kind of come to terms that I'm a Mexican American, like not to diminish my Mexican heritage or my, I grew up here, I was born here.
Yeah.
Like, but I think it's cool because it sets me apart,
Same.
and
Same. I'm Hawaiian American, not
Yeah.
British American, but a little
close. Yeah,
bit
maybe
close.
a little
kind
bit.
of. Logan, what do you have to say about that?
No comment.
Okay.
No comments.
Still, okay. So we're still on the Hawaiian side then. No, but yeah,
Yeah.
I like to preserve the Hawaiian side of me.
Mm-hmm.
My kids will probably take up the Cambodian side.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Because, I mean, and there's no problem with that. But if they ever do go back to Hawaii, they're gonna learn the way, especially
Right.
from my mom's side, huh? And my mom jokes about that all the time. I should take grandparents, want
Yeah.
the grandkids. So they take them home. If they do go home,
Well, that's what my
they're gonna
wife and I
learn.
have said. We'll just ship the kids off to
Yeah,
grandma
bro.
down in Brazil.
See,
I'm
See,
sure-
everyone can relate.
And I'm sure that would be fun. Like if you
Yeah.
if you sent them out in May and have them come back in August, dude, they'll be
Yeah.
I feel like it. I mean, there was bro. If you saw this video,
Start putting up hammocks everywhere. Like
Yeah.
later, bro.
There was this rotten kid on was it Dr. Phil's, and all these Polynesians saw it, so we put a caption underneath: "Send this guy to Samoa so he can learn." you will never learn to slap a mom in the face.
No, amen.
Bruh,
Amen.
Because you never talk that way, slap that way, anything like that.
Yeah.
Well, they gonna learn. So,
sit on you.
It's funny.
bruh. They'll make you. They'll put you straight. They'll put you straight.
Yeah, they'll just bury you in the sand. Just right up against the surf.
We'll put you in with the pig. Roast you.
No kidding. But so we've talked about a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome. I appreciate you just being
Garrett.
willing to be on, and
Garrett.
we'll have to do another episode. I say that to everybody, but
Yeah.
I think repeat episodes are always good.
Heck yeah. Repeat offenders.
Repeat offenders. But before we end, do you guys have anything you want to plug? Anything? I mean, obviously your Instagrams, but anything else you want to?
I guess for me, Hawaiian shooter, right? So, Instagram. I post more stuff on Instagram than Facebook. I have a Facebook, but I don't post on Facebook.
Yeah.
But Instagram, I mean, I do not. Adon was saying earlier that check them out because they put out good content. So, yes and no. My content kind of is not that great of a quality, but
Except for
it
the
is.
pictures I take of you.
Those are so good.
It's
Okay,
good.
I kid you not. Both you guys are some really, really good photographers, and I need to do a little bit more. Get my good side, huh? Believe it or not, this is my good eye. 51st dates.
Yeah,
man.
first Rob Schneider.
Get your brother out of the dishwasher. It's like, how in the world did he get in there?
He has a pretty good accent, actually.
He's good.
Yeah.
He's very good at that.
Everybody's like, but nobody ever says cultural appropriation on Rob Schneider because it's common.
Yeah.
You know,
Right,
it's
he's so good about it. You just gotta take
Yeah.
it the way how it is, man.
Yep.
No, but
That's funny.
I do not put out quality, really good content like some of these other guys. Even like the pictures of like my guns, it's like not even great.
I think you do just fine.
Well, but the drills what I'm trying to do is because my number one coach is myself, and so that's the reason why I post it is so I can also
Yeah, but
post.
that's your good content.
Yeah.
It might not be the sexiest photo.
Yeah.
And since Instagram is becoming
it's
a
the
video
work.
platform, so they say,
Yeah.
Right.
you're golden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to just learn from myself, right? So that's
But
why I
that's
post
your
it and
good
get
content,
everyone's
in all
input.
honesty.
Yeah.
That's where your good content comes from is what you're doing on the clip side or the the videos that you're taking.
mhm.
It might not be the sexiest photo, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
But where your good content is the drills and showing progress and evaluating, setting
Yeah.
goals, better, achieving that kind of thing.
I think the if anyone wants to get really better, and Leaf asked me that question, kind of stuck in my head, was if anyone really wants to get better, you just gotta push yourself to another level because everyone can be like right now I consider myself plateaued, and so I'm trying
Right.
to break it up by doing longer drills
Yeah.
and not just like
Endurance.
kind of endurance, and that's why Reeve, and maybe you should get Reeve on this chat
Dude,
too.
shout out to
Reeve.
Reeve.
I mean,
the
the
most
guy is
photogenic
yeah.
guy I think I've
he's
ever taken a
he's
photo
so good.
of.
He's so
They don't make them like that anymore.
They're from Alaska.
God
Yeah,
really
no,
put
but
his
all-
time
all
on
honesty,
that one.
Yeah. Yeah. He got Michelangelo to
What?
sculpt that sculpture.
Ah!
Let me tell you, Reeves job.
Nah, but I mean, I'm learning from good people,
Yeah.
and I think that's what everyone wants to do.
Dude, Reeves
should
a
do.
hell of a shooter too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
he's
the cool
good.
thing. I
He's
learned a
really
lot
good.
just
He's
from
hella
Reeve.
good.
I learned a lot just from Reeve alone, and Leaf and everyone inside the chat. But if you want to get better, you got to push. You got to definitely want it.
Yeah,
Where's
for sure.
your desire, your
Yeah.
drive, huh?
Yeah.
Because
You have to accept what you put out, but you have to always have that thought in the back of your mind. It's not good enough.
yeah, I can always do
I
better.
can do better.
Yeah,
Don't become complacent.
yeah,
Yeah, stagnant.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
whatever you're able to do, accept it.
yeah,
Don't beat
guaranteed.
yourself up over it, right?
Mhm.
You know, and I mean, this is life
Give
advice,
yourself
not
standards.
just shooting advice.
Yeah,
but
give yourself standards.
yeah, give yourself standards, right? I want to achieve JJ Rocazzo, or I
Yes.
want to achieve that video that I saw, right? Those 30 seconds on Instagram. I saw a dude do something, and I want to execute it like that.
Yeah, and that's the way.
Go for it. Set that as your goal. Go for it, and whatever you're able to put out, obviously record yourself. I found that to be the best thing.
yeah.
Right?
It's the
Always
best coach.
record yourself.
It's
It always
yourself.
is. You're like, ooh, that looked weird, or that looked good, whatever. But whatever you're able to do, accept that. Change it and go at it again.
Do it again.
But don't beat yourself up.
No,
Yeah.
it's
That
not.
whole,
It's not.
like,
It's not worth it.
Yeah, and that's what my friends, me and my friend, good friend right now, we've been shooting kind of once a month and sometimes once a week. But his drive right now, and he's gotten significantly better, and it's just from him wanting to beat me.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Because he, in his way,
Yeah.
he has a 1911, and he had a 45 1911.
Dude.
That's what he was carrying. Okay, God's caliber, fine.
Yeah.
But he actually ended up getting a 19X, and now he's doing a lot
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
If you watch this, you know who I'm talking. You know I'm talking about you. But he's gotten a lot better just from watching him, and we doing stuff together a lot.
Yeah.
And not just him, but my other friends too. We go
Right.
out and we hit the range hardcore,
Yeah.
and we try to do the best that we can, holding to the high standards, so that
Right.
way we don't go below that low standards.
Right,
We cannot just
right.
be like not complacent, but like, oh, it was on paper. No, we're going to hit circle.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to
Yeah.
strive for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's, you got to push.
Yeah.
You got to push.
Paper is not good enough. You have to hit a certain spot on the paper.
Yeah,
Exactly.
There you go. So that's my 2 cents.
No,
Take it or keep the change.
That's good. Logan, do you
Yeah.
have something to like final words? Something like
I'm British.
No.
Isaac
Is a British flag.
Yeah, it's just so
British
funny
flag.
when we poke at you about that.
I love it.
No, it's not.
I love it, but then at the same time, it's like
Oh,
it's
it
not,
hurts.
It's not a British flag, bro.
Yeah.
It's a Hawaiian flag.
Yeah, ours is
Yeah.
basically French, right?
Negative.
The colors,
No.
French.
Wait,
Dude,
it's American
like-
colors.
All
Dutch.
the European countries, well, the
Red, white, and blue.
the
Every lot of
Western
people-
Yeah,
European
yeah.
countries, they always have the red, white, and blue.
Yeah, Paraguay has red, white, and blue.
We just do it the best.
Yeah, we
It's
do.
the stars.
Hey,
America.
Hawaii 5-0.
White. Yeah,
Let me
dude.
tell you, the
Yep.
50th state, bro.
Yeah. But no, I mean, shout outs to the boys, the Cowabunga boys. Shout out. Look forward to the next range day. I'll be there with my camera, painting you as French girls.
Paint me, boy.
Yeah.
Paint me, boy.
Paint me.
Oils, pastels.
All of the above.
All of the above.
I would love that.
But no, dude, that's it. It's just set high standards. Go for them. Accept what you're able to put out, but don't accept where you are. Always, it's there's nothing wrong with being weak. There's everything wrong with staying weak.
Yeah. That's a good way.
Oh, that's a good way to put that. Yeah.
Because you
Right.
can, unless you don't have the drive to actually get out and do it. I mean, yes, ammo, but you can still dry fire. You can still
course.
do a lot.
Dude, a
Not
box of ammo. Shout out to Legion Paper Targets.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know you
Um,
guys.
Unofficially,
I would like to
officially
get
a
to know you.
sponsor.
Yeah,
I'd
right.
like to get to know you.
I'd like to have relations.
I would love to. I gotta talk like you got. I would like to have relations.
Yeah.
Relation.
So, no, but as you know, at Legacy, we have the Legion targets, right? The Max,
Max Michelle.
and then the Assault Dynamics as well.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, those drills are only 25 rounds in total.
Yeah.
There's 5 drills, 5 rounds per drill.
Wait, what is this? I'm missing out.
I'll show you one of the paper targets later.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they have the Max Michelle and the Assault Dynamics, and there's a couple of there's the Dot Torture as well. But they have these paper targets where the round count is only 25 rounds. So if you bought a box of ammo, you could go through two drills,
two
Yes.
or
rounds
two
of drills.
two
Yeah.
sessions, right,
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
will.
Yeah.
But you could go through 10 drills, and each drill is, like I said, only 5 rounds, 5 drills. So 25 rounds, half a box of ammo, and most of them are in. And where it really gets interesting and fun is if you have a shot timer, right?
Yes.
Or some
Yes.
some way
Absolutely.
to measure your
Yeah.
performance. And usually they're just draw and fire one round, but you need to fire it in a 4-inch circle.
Okay, there we go.
You know, and
There we
so
go.
they have written on there, right? You can do these anywhere from 3 to 5 yards. Sometimes they're 7, sometimes they're even 10 yards.
Yeah.
I don't know about a 20 or 25 yard. I think they're just standard handgun engagement distances, if you will. You know, that 10 round or 10 yard.
Sometimes
kind of
it's
thing.
the 40.
Right. No, totally. But it's meant to, you know, get you out and do it. But dude, you could do 2 paper targets and essentially have 10 different metrics that you can evaluate yourself on.
Okay.
So you have, right, each piece
And
of
that's
paper
only with
is
25
5, and it's only
rounds.
25.
Only 25
So
rounds, dude.
I need to let all of my my friends. I'm not gonna say anything about that, but I need to let my friends know because a lot of them are complacent on the. They're complaining about you cannot go shoot because of ammo.
No, dude. You get one of those
You
targets.
get one box
and
$20. I
especially-
mean, Sportsman's selling them for $20 right now, so that's kind of a good
Yeah,
deal.
that's what we.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not bad. It's better than
Yeah.
spin.
But
yeah, way better than spend. But, dude, $20, and you could get 10 drills
that's very
out of
good.
it. But each one, you could run it with a group of dudes
Mhm.
because all you have to do is mark your hits.
Yeah, yeah.
Just bring a Sharpie or bring a pen
Exactly.
to
Yep.
cover it, and then time it and record those times.
Yep.
Yes.
Record them, and then at the end of the day,
See where you
see who
where-
won, see who lost,
Yeah,
see
yeah.
who came in the middle.
Yeah.
Run it again,
Improve.
and you can get out of 50 rounds.
Know what you did wrong though, huh? Because
And
if
then-
you
and
cannot
then
diagnose,
see what you can do on that next one.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Not
And
just
so-
go for faster a time, because if you go for a faster time, you might
yeah,
fumble
sometimes
everything.
fast is
exactly.
not
Yeah.
smooth,
Exactly.
right?
No.
You
Yeah.
know, so
You have to definitely pick it up, and that's where
Yeah.
like the 70%, the 80%, 90%, 100 to the point of failure, where you're like going as fast as you
Right.
possibly can.
Right. Yeah.
So that's something I also preach too, and I kind of go along with the lines with you. See if you can get better, but do it at a standard where you're capable of, right?
And where you can get better.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you're just
Improve.
gonna turn the dial really small,
Yes.
and then improve from there,
Yeah.
and then improve from there.
not
That's
go,
the way how I
not
see
go
it.
from 2 to 8.
Bruh.
You got to go
No.
from 2
I
to 3 or
used
4.
to do that when
you
I
know?
first started shooting, bro. I wanted to be like, yeah, this is so cool, 101.
But then bringing it back full circle to what we were talking about at the beginning, that one range day when we had everybody at the where was that? Pelican Point, right? Yeah.
Pelican Point.
I
I wasn't there.
it was a shame. I really
Yeah.
wish you
I
could
missed
have.
you.
I'll go to the next
But
one.
Missed you.
Thanks.
that drill at the end of the day, dude. Everybody, we were recording times. Oh, and it was just nothing but very, very healthy competition.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And we
You know,
weren't hurting
getting
each
better.
other.
No,
we were
not
just,
at all.
It was
Not
very.
at all.
It was like, oh, I can do better.
You can do better.
This is the way how you can turn your leg to go this way,
Yeah.
and then you would jolt
Yeah.
back. It was that one, right? It was the one we were running to the rock, run back.
That's the one.
Bruh, that was a good one because
was.
it helped the leg get into the
Oh,
position.
yeah.
And you guys were telling me you're slowing down too early, or you're
Right.
not slowing
Yeah,
down
oh yeah,
enough.
and it was funny because I think everybody was shooting fine. There wasn't
Yeah.
really any issues or whatever for people to improve their marksmanship. It was the getting from A to B.
yeah, yeah, and that's a big one for me right
It
now.
is.
That's
big.
why shout out to Reeve, you helping me out almost every single morning right now. So my legs is still killing me even now.
I'd
Thank
love
you.
to have that problem.
Thank you.
Make my
Stop,
legs
stop.
hurt. Reeve.
I'd love to have sore legs.
He makes your legs weak.
Sorry.
Oh yeah. Anyway, well, thanks guys again for being
Absolutely.
on the episode.
Yep.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
We'll have, like I said, we'll have another episode.
Right.
Pleasure.
But yeah, that's going to be this episode.
Yeah.
Be sure to check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, all the
Like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications.
Man,
Yeah,
I
all
do
that.
not know how to say that, but eventually I will.
What?
Like
Comment,
subscribe.
subscribe.
Because I have a YouTube channel, but I'm
Yeah,
not that
yeah.
big into it. I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
post
no,
whatever I got
I'm
on
not
Instagram.
worried
on
about it.
there.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. Do what you want. You download it.
Yeah.
Comments
that
means
stuff.
everything, right?
Comment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because everyone looks at the comments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're listening, that's all I care about.
Yeah.
You know, this is good. Now you can just see our faces, but we will see you guys in the next one.
Chee! Aloha.